Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video is going to be all about the Elementary Escapades onslaught event that's happening right now in Dragalia Lost. This new event launched today and it features young Ranzal, young Louise, Emil, Sanoa, as well as Human Mercury among other characters. It is an absolute delight as far as the story goes, and that's part of the reason I wanted to make this quick video, just to talk about it. I had a lot of fun playing through it and wanted to share my thoughts on the story and impressions. While I talk about all of that, of course, I have some gameplay rolling on the screen just to share my first clear of All Out Assault EX, as well as my clear of Zodiark's Astral Trial. So that'll be running in the background, but I mainly just want to talk about the story of this event because I really feel that the writers hit it out of the park with this one, and this was comedy gold as far as Dragalia Lost is concerned. We just came off a lore-heavy, serious event in the form of Dawn of Dragalia, and this was the perfect complement to that. This was the perfect reprieve after such a serious event. To have something so lighthearted that breaks the fourth wall, that is really humorous and leans into some of the anime trope space that Dragalia is very much adjacent to, was an absolute delight. It was a treat. So basically the premise of the event is that Emil sets up an academy for young students, and intrigued by this, the members of the Halidom decide they need to find out more. Is he planning something? It's just on the outskirts or edges around New Alberia, so they want to make sure he's not up to no good. And their plan to infiltrate is basically to send in child versions of themselves. So to dial it back a little bit, we finally get addressed the fact that Yuden has this army of child soldiers because Louise actually steps up to the plate to prevent Yuden from sending in any of the child characters like Lowen or Maribel, and particularly Lowen, of course, with it being Louise. So Yuden basically says that that wasn't his plan, but we all know Yuden. We all know that Yuden is doing battle with Lily on the team, with Maribel on the team. So yeah, that's sort of finally acknowledged. But anyway, they decide there's a way around this because Sanoa shows up, and one of her latest explosions is a means to de-age people. She tested it on a Pipple, and Pipple became a Sprout. They even get some Pipple fan service in this story. I mean, it's just great. So the thing is, it's not really clear who it's going to affect, so they experiment with it, and as it turns out, when all the group is hit by the explosion, it is Louise as well as Ranzal that de-age, with Ranzal even addressing the audience directly and saying, I'm surprised it wasn't somebody else because it would have been better fan service. And we know we've seen young Ellie and young Alex in the story, so I was kind of surprised they picked Ranzal too, but he ended up being the perfect character for this because as the story goes on, Louise and Ranzal enroll in the academy, they're transfer students, and Mercury transforms into her human state to become a teacher at the academy, saying that she has an important lesson to teach Emil. So they all go to the school, they're introduced as new students, but they're children. Of course, when they go back to their normal age at a random time, because Sanoa's magic is very unstable and her explosions are very unpredictable, they're going to become huge and they're going to rip out of their child outfit, so that's something that everybody wants to avoid. But anyway, they're at the school, and who appears but one of my favorite characters we've gotten in an event as of late, a young boy named Ryu, who has the most intense affections for baby Louise that I can ever imagine a child having. It is very funny, sort of creepy, but just sort of endearing as well because he's a child, a precocious child, I suppose, but a child nonetheless. And the way that they interact, him, Ranzal, and Louise, all three of them together, is just hilarious. So we get a little bit of the antics there with him thinking that he has to fight Ranzal in order to win Louise's affections, with that obviously not being the case, of course. We learn more about the intrigue around the school, with Mercury having some one-on-one time with Emil, and him thinking that she's expressing some type of romantic interest in him. Of course, that's not the case. She just wants to know what's going on. We see Mercury's motherly death glare on Emil that sends shivers down everyone's spines. So overall, this was just really fun, and I think that I'd love to see more events like this in Dragalia Lost. The stories can be hit or miss sometimes, and with what's happening in the main campaign now, and like I said, Dawn of Dragalia, they've leaned a little bit more into the lore, which I really do like and enjoy, but I think that these onslaught and defensive events have often been that perfect fix at the right moment of a little bit of comedy and humor as well. Emil's a character I really want to see redeemed, so one of the only things I disliked about the event was I thought that when Mercury was saying she had a lesson to teach him, I thought that there was going to be more of a heartfelt moment between them where she actually gave him some advice, some personal advice about how to sort of improve himself, but we did get a really nice character moment for a while when he was teaching art, and that's something that he is very talented in, and it's a way he can express himself and almost find himself being kind of like a good advisor to the children on what they're doing. I mean, he at least tries to be that supportive figure, and even though it's partially because of his high estimation of himself, I thought that that was kind of a sweet moment. And overall, like, if he's starting a school for kids and they're happy and they're having fun, as ridiculous and narcissistic as he is, I feel like it's actually a pretty good step in his character arc overall. So I still hope that one day we can get Gala Emil. That'd be super fun. But as of now, it looks like we're going to get young Ranzal and Humanoid Mercury pretty soon, and I don't know, I have no idea if young Louise is also going to be featured on the same banner, or if she'll have her own banner, or if she'll even be playable at all. But everything to me looks like Ranzal and Mercury at least will become playable, so I really don't know what the future will hold as far as Louise goes, but certainly would love to see her as a playable character as well. I think the cast for this event was just super well chosen. We had some comedy at the end, of course, when everybody returned to the Halidump and then went back to their adult forms, not had to step in to clean things up for us, with Mercury saying that everybody lived happily ever after, with that, of course, sort of being the case, but not really in the moment. So overall, this was one of my favorite events in Dragalia Lost, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Elementary Escapades, it's not around for too long, about a week or so make sure you check it out. And if you're somebody who usually skips the story, this is one that I think you would enjoy checking out just because it is so different and so off the wall. Ryu's writing in particular, his moments where he really shines, are also very humorous and very funny. So yeah, Elementary Escapades was a pretty cool event. Can't say a whole lot for the gameplay, kind of just breezed through that. We did get some stickers, so I'll go ahead and equip those. Have to figure out just the right spot, of course. If you are more interested in the deep cuts when it comes to Dragalia Lost and the ongoing story and the ongoing lore, I also wanted to announce that I will be participating in a stream later this week, so that is going to be over on Straightlace's channel. Straightlace has made Dragalia Lost YouTube videos in the past and is still a community member and still keeps up with the game's lore and story, is one of the most informed people on that topic. So I'm very excited to join him to talk about the game's story in light of the epilogue of Dawn of Dragalia, which also released today. That is going to do it for today though. Details on that are in the description below. A link out is there as well. Thank you as always for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.